Hello, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel, CS Prashant Thakre. I am CS Prashant Thakre. I'm into practice as a company secretary based out in Mumbai, Port, and I'm mainly into the practice of National Company Law Tribunal, as most of you may be aware of. That NCLT was started in the year 2016, and after that in 2017 Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code was introduced, and the jurisdiction to deal with the cases of IBC is completely with the NCLT as an adjudicating authority, and the appellate tribunal is called the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal to deal with this particular subject or the matters which come out of the IBC arena. I myself am practicing before NCLT from 2017 onwards, and my journey would I can just describe as so far so good. And I do, of course, like represent before NCLT in various cases like IBC, like whatever the cases that comes out of uh, the IBC processes to be undertaken from like since from filing the cases, or we can say from making the cases, drafting the cases, then filing it before NCLT, and then after appearing before NCLT tribunals, getting those cases admitted. Or of course, it's not only about admitting the cases, it's also about defending the respondents, who are basically the companies against which this case is to be filed. Um, then after that, if it is admitted, then of course, as per the IBC provisions, the corporate insolvency resolution process, that is in short what we call is CIRP, is to be conducted by the insolvency professional who is appointed in that matter, and then after it has to be taken to the logical conclusion as per the provisions of IBC. So this is what, like, normally day in day out I do practice. Uh, and of course, in addition to that, before NCLT, there is a company law jurisdiction also. So whatever the cases comes are of company law as well. That's what I do practice before NCLT, like mergers, demergers, capital reduction, uh, operation and mismanagement in companies, or the cases like this, so on and so forth. My journey was like quite good. I'm quite happy being a practitioner before NCLT as a company secretary, and definitely I would be very happy to see more and more number of company secretaries practicing before this particular tribunal. Um, and definitely, of course, I understand, I'm aware of that the company secretaries institute, that is our mother institute, ICSI, uh, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, is also taking a lot of efforts by organizing many seminars, workshops for the members of the institute, so that they can inspire those members, they can enlighten those members, provide sufficient what we can call is the infrastructure, the knowledge base, the references, uh, and like many things that what one institute can do at its level. At the same time, what I personally feel is that uh, there has to be some uh, kind of, I would say, a genuine interest and genuine willingness to like get into this field of NCLT practice, because I personally feel that it is a very good area to practice into. And since the legislation has specifically recognized the company secretaries as professionals who can appear before this tribunal. So it means that definitely the government must have thought about it, that and definitely recognized the potential of company secretaries, and that is why I feel that they have um allowed us, recognized us, and felt that we are totally competent and eligible to uh, do justice with the process of the matters being dealt with before NCLT, and do justice with the profession we are into. But um, at the same time, since I am there before NCLT almost every day, I'm really astonished and really surprised in a more particular sense that there are very less number of company secretaries who actually into this practice and appearing before the tribunal in these kind of matters. So literally, it is really very important to increase the strength of the company secretaries members to uh, like be a part of such noble practice and profession which is provided readily in that sense, like by this particular profession to its members. So this much to initiate with, I can just say. And one more thing I would just like to add over here. So we don't understand when it is actually, the powers which are being given to we people as members of the institute, that where the tribunal where, I mean, the very renowned face that everybody would be aware of, no introduction is required for Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the topmost lawyer, uh, the senior counsel, the senior advocate, uh, who appears in all the big and giant cases, was also, the law minister and handled various ministries in the Congress regime. And as on date also, like, he is the most sought after a lawyer in our country, that he come and appear before NCLT in cases. Of course, those cases will be quite huge and will be having a good or a huge numbers involved in that. So that is the tribunal we can understand, where we as a practicing company secretaries are also having the authority to appear, where Mr. Singhvi, Dr. Singhvi is appearing. So you can understand the astra or the shastra that we have with us, and what we really need to understand and uh, uh, appreciate, basically, to use that shastra what we have. Otherwise it would be like, something which is you are having but you are not using. And what happens ultimately in these kind of situations are like nothing to explain as such. Because yesterday only, like, I was in NCLT, in Mr. Like the senior counsel, Dr. Singhvi, was appearing in the matter of Reserve Bank of India versus Reliance Capital Limited. And that was so like inspiring and astonishing for me, being present over there and observe those particular proceedings and how Mr. Singhvi was like arguing the matter. And I felt so proud about, like being a company secretary being here present in this room, having same authority where Mr. Singhvi can appear. So it was really remarkable and a very the happy kind of a moment for me. Friends, I can definitely say one thing, that if you use this profession uh, like diligently, intelligently, with a passion and with an equal amount of hard work, of course, smart work, hard work, those, that the uh, deliberations that always that happens, I would say hard work. In that sense, it has some actually a different thought of mind behind it, calling it hard work. So um, like thinking about all these things, ultimately, what I've come to the conclusion, at least since I'm into this for long now, and uh, I mean, there are students of our institute who are pursuing this particular course, and fortunately, uh, 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 this the subject called insolvency and bankruptcy code is there in the syllabus of ICSI, and that is why I particularly thought that if, like, for the students who have opted this particular subject for their examination as one of the optional or elective subject out of 4 or 5 subjects are there, why not to help them out in understanding what this particular subject is, and how better they can prepare for this, and not only for the exam, for passing, just for the sake, or just for the sake of passing the exam, but ultimately and finally, why not to, from the point of view of passing the exam, as well as after passing the exam and becoming the company secretary, they should be in a position like to appear before these tribunals. So that would be actually, the fulfillment of our mother institute would be, uh, uh, when they will see that the student has passed now and has become a company secretary, and the course or the syllabus which he was having, now we have really trained him in such a way that now, once after passing the exam, now becoming a company secretary, he is actually in a position now to implement the things which he has studied. So there are, of course, the syllabus is quite huge, a lot of legislations, a lot of acts, laws are there for study. But what I would like to focus on, because since I'm into that particular practice, that is insolvency and bankruptcy code, and which happens before NCLT, that is the adjudicating authority in this particular matter, and that is why I would like to take up or have some good lectures on the syllabus of insolvency and bankruptcy code of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, for the students who shall be appearing for the exam of ICSI final exam, basically. Although it is an open book exam, that's what I know about it. But at the same time, though it is open book exam, but if you are prepared well, and as I previously said, this channel, or like whatever the lectures would be there, or the sessions would be there, that would be focusing not only on just passing the exam, but also preparing the students for uh, you know, from the point of view of practicing before NCLT once they pass the exam. So, my dear friends, I once again welcome you all to this particular platform. Uh, and take advantage of the sessions that would be conducted by me for my dear friends. And I mean, the intention is basically to help them out in better understanding this particular subject in a in a theoretical manner as well as a practical manner or the aspect to unleash for them. And I would be sharing my contact details in the comments, and whatever, like after once you have gone through, like the sessions which will be like conducted or would be available on this particular channel of mine called CS Prashant Thakre. So you people can comment on the videos and express your views on it, what more is required from my side in order to like guide you people properly and to prepare thoroughly for the exam as well as for the practice your post examination. So for today, to start with, this was just a background like of mine and what exactly I am willing to do. Uh, so I hope you people would definitely get the crux of what I'm intending to say. Um, and we hope, let us hope, because this is just the what I would say, a chance which I'm just taking to reach out to you and share like what I have understood for and what I'm like understanding from being a part of the process of IBC journey and the NCLT basically. I mean, of course, apart from IBC, like I do also practice in the matters under Companies Act. Uh, like as you people are aware that in the old act, for mergers, demergers, and things like this, the jurisdiction was lying with the high courts of the respective states. But after the NCLT came into being, the jurisdiction has been shifted to NCLT for dealing with the matters of mergers and demergers from the high courts. So now for mergers, we don't need to go to high courts. It happens at NCLT level. And definitely I do practice into that as well. So definitely I will try to like impart whatever like what I have studied, what I am experiencing from being into these practice, this particular practice, and would always like my dear friends to also become aware of and find a good potential in this particular practice once they pass the examination and become company secretaries. Also, I would like appeal whoever wants basically to experience how exactly all these things happen. I would rather invite them to like will definitely for that sake it will be needing a good plan that what we can say the NCLT visit uh, and for that sake, I can definitely help you people out, and we can have let's connect. Maybe we can form some group on WhatsApp or something like that, where we can actually connect, and then we can take this particular journey forward, and which will definitely help you people out. So with this, I just for today, since our main focus is on learning, I would say learning only because See, whatever, even if he's a senior counsel, he would and he should, in my submission, must say that I am, or even if he's a professor, so he would always say that I am the student of this particular subject. So that is something which everybody I know should have the attitude of, that nobody can master in any subject, is what I really understand. Every day is a new day. There is always a learning journey which goes on and on. So today, my friends, what we will just start with, we'll just see what all are the topics as per the syllabus of ICSI for the subject called Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code or Law. So I would just share the the module uh, of ICSI on the screen, where we can see what all are the topics that we have to study for this particular paper of ICSI for the final examination. Yes, nice. And also, I would like to appeal all my dear friends that, see, the institute will always provide you with the modules. Even after we are having the modules in hand, we always try to seek for, some other materials here and there. You people join classes, so I'm not saying that you don't go for classes and all. That's not I'm suggesting. If you want to do something extra than what is given in the module, that is your choice. But what I believe is, personally, the modules which are compiled and made and provided by our mother institute are very comprehensive. And if we really study them well on our own, uh, analytically, that is most important, then I can definitely say that nothing is more sophisticated and helpful than the modules which are provided by ICSI. So I would always recommend that if you want to refer something extra, is your choice. But there is no option or alternate, or there should not be any choice to the module which is provided by the institute. So I urge all my dear friends, first of all, you please study the module first. Make your notes, your own notes out of the content of the module, and maybe, uh, once, twice, thrice, fourth time, fifth time, if you study the module with required amount of time and energy, of course, and make your own notes out of it, then I challenge that it is very, very difficult that anybody can anybody can, like, will hesitate to give you the marks which can stop you from passing the examination. That is one thing. Our motive, you never forget, that it is not only about passing the examination, but also to become a successful professional by successful professional as a company secretary, and especially in the field of the practice of insolvency and bankruptcy code, and the practice of uh, practicing before the national company law tribunal, national company law appellate tribunals, uh, to deal with the matters of IBC as well as company law. So apart from IBC, I would also be taking sessions on company law as well, but that I will see later on how, it depends upon basically how much time also that I will be getting from my day-to-day schedules with the existing commitments and all. But definitely that's IBC is something which is really going to open new doors for, the budding professionals or the dear students, and that's why I would like to concentrate more as of now on IBC. So today we'll just see what all are basically the topics under the this particular subject, and then from the next session onwards we'll start it chapter wise. Okay, yeah. So as you can see on the screen, this is, I have not prepared any different notes of mine, and I don't intend to also as such as of now. But I would like to, like have the sessions out of the uh, the module itself, because I love, the modules of our institute. They are really good. So, dear students, dear friends, see the what is the name of the subject we have to deal with is basically insolvency, law, and practice. Module 3, elective paper number 9.5. Okay, so what like I used to do when I was studying is the very first thing, what is very important is basically to go through and read properly the introduction of that particular module or of that particular subject. So I would urge you all, you please, first of all, once if you have received the module and it is in your hand, then please analytically study the introductory part of the module, which actually here you can see on the screen. Uh, Let us not read it out for this particular session. I would rather request you people to please go through it and try to understand the intent of the institute of having this particular subject in your curriculum or the syllabus, and what exactly like they are looking uh, ahead from you people. So please go through this introductory part. I'm very sure that you people would really appreciate it, and you will get some a kind of a vision to study this particular subject. Okay, so now if we have to see that what is the objective here, is see what institute wants is to acquire expert knowledge of the legal, procedural, and practical aspects of insolvency and its resolution. So what I was talking for last few uh, minutes of last some time is this, that it is not about passing the examination, but also after passing the examination, you have to actually be on the field, or we can say a battlefield, and apply the knowledge. So of course, so you should be thorough with the legal provisions, how procedurally it will work and how practically it shall be implemented is what also the focus of the institute, and it means this is what I intend to my this particular efforts are basically, as I already told, will be on the blending of the uh, the theory with the practical, and come out with something which is very, it would be very beautiful and helpful to all my dear friends. So this is what our objective shall be, and I totally agree with the institute's objective, and I would try my best to impart uh, the best out of me for this particular subject. Okay, so now in brief, let us see what all are the uh, the basic I mean, what the syllabus they have given and how they have given. So we'll just have this have a look uh, over it, and then today's session we can conclude, and then from the next session we can start with this thing chapter wise. So what is the first and foremost the topic what they have given is insolvency, concepts, and evolution. Okay, so bankruptcy, insolvency, the concept, historical developments of insolvency law in India, a brief on historical background on UK insolvency framework, US bankruptcy laws. So to study any subject, you should know the history of it. So that is the purpose of this particular chapter, I would say. Then introduction to insolvency and bankruptcy code. So what we will study in this is historical background, report of the bankruptcy law reform committee, need for the insolvency and bankruptcy code 2016, overall scheme of the insolvency and bankruptcy code, how exactly the bankruptcy or the insolvency and bankruptcy code is drafted and what is the scheme of it. So what exactly they want to achieve out of it, that's what we can probably have the idea about out of this. Then important definitions, institutions under insolvency and bankruptcy code. So to run this particular or to implement this particular law, that what all are the institutions which the government has formed. So we'll have to study about those institutions also, like for example, IBBI, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So we'll study all those things in detail, no problem. Then the third one is corporate insolvency resolution process. That is in short we called CIRP. Okay. So in that, what all things are there? Legal provisions क्या है, कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स क्या होता है, प्रोसीजर्स में क्या क्या चीजें हैं, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में क्या क्या करना है, appearance, approvals, etc. So it's quite interesting journey, this process is, because I've seen it very closely and I'm seeing it like very practically, like by helping the insolvency professionals, appearing before company law tribunal, NCLT. Like I'm seeing it from all the angles, I would say. It's quite interesting, and like as a profession also, to work into is quite, I would say, lucrative. And then insolvency, then the fourth one. Okay, insolvency resolution of corporate person. So corporate person, as you people are aware, are basically the companies and LLPs. What they intend to is and what they mean is. So the contents of resolution plan, like resolution plan में क्या होता है, and those things we'll be studying in this, how it is to be drafted, what all are things to be taken care of while drafting it, and all and all. Of course, we are just having an overview of uh, the content of this particular subject now. We are not going in detail in this particular session. Okay. Then submission of resolution plan, approval of resolution plan. It has its own rules. Okay. So like rules of the game that all we'll have to study. Then resolution strategies. What all are the kind of strategies would be there to resolve the insolvency of any corporate debtor or any company? Then fast track corporate insolvency resolution process. So there is a fast track process that's also being introduced for some eligible kind of companies, that also we'll have to see. Then liquidation of corporate persons. So how liquidation is to be undertaken for a company, if let's say that the CIRP is failed, then what next is the answer is to get that company into liquidation. Okay, so how that exactly happens, that we will have to see. Then after voluntary liquidation of companies. So what is this voluntary liquidation? It means the companies can voluntarily go for liquidation and then closure of those companies. So just mind one important thing in this particular matter is the companies which are basically solvent in nature, only those companies can go for this particular uh, process for closing their companies. Okay, we'll study everything in detail. Don't worry. I mean, today I'm just want you people to get familiar with what kind of the syllabus that we have. Okay, then the next one is adjudication and appeals for corporate person. So adjudicating authority in relation to insolvency, resolution and liquidation of corporate persons. क्या है adjudicating authority is basically NCLT. Then jurisdiction of NCLT. Its jurisdiction is a very important thing in a legal process, so that we'll have to understand properly. Then grounds for appeal against order of liquidation क्या क्या हो सकता है. Then appeal to Supreme Court on question of law, इसमें क्या सारी चीजें आ सकती है. Penalty of carrying on business fraudulently to defraud traders. So there are a lot of things actually to study. So they have just given few of them, but that's fine. We'll deal with each and everything in detail. Don't worry. Debt recovery and securitization. So non-performing asset reconstruction companies, security intent, enforcement rules, options available with banks, application to tribunal and appellate tribunals, etc. It's fine. Okay, we'll deal with all this. Then winding up by tribunal. So there is also, there are also the provisions under the Companies Act uh, from section 271 onwards it starts like. So we can also go for winding up of the companies. That also happens like before NCLT. Then the cross-border insolvency is also quite interesting a topic we'll have to deal with. Then insolvency resolution of individual and partnership firms. So how it is different like from the corporate person, that is companies and LLPs. So the CIRP of companies and LLPs, that's what we have to see in what we have just saw in the above topics. Apart from that, the insolvency of individuals and partnership firms also to be taken care of. So how that will happen, that also we'll have to see. Okay. Then bankruptcy order for individuals and partnership firms. So insolvency, if it is not resolved, then like company went into liquidation if it is not resolved under CIRP. In same manner, like for the individuals and partnership firms also, like if it is not resolved under insolvency process, um, in that case the bankruptcy is to be started. So what exactly all these things are and how exactly it will, I mean, it runs, that I will explain in like we'll have the sessions for each topic separately. Then bankruptcy for individuals and partnership firms. Yes, so how the bankruptcy process will happen for individuals and partnership firms. Okay, fine. Then fresh start process. So what is fresh start process means exactly? This is for individuals basically. So like once the insolvency is done, the bankruptcy is done, then ultimately this is called a fresh start process. How exactly it happens, that we'll have to see. Then professional and ethical practices for what insolvency practitioners. So what the insolvency practitioners are basically, they are, I think, focusing upon the insolvency professionals, IP, who are to be appointed as interim resolution professional, then liquidator, and in some cases they are also to be appointed as authorized representatives for the creditors or the class of creditors, etc. So we'll have to deal with all these things in detail. Okay. uh yes, anything else? No, I think the story ended there. So it means what I understood from all this, the topics, we have to study the insolvency and bankruptcy code completely. Then after, the regulations under the insolvency and bankruptcy code, there are various regulations are there. Just to name few out of them is CIRP regulations, liquidation regulations, voluntary liquidation regulations, insolvency professional regulations. There are many others like this personal guarantors related regulations, and there are others also. So all those will have to like deal with in order to understand this complete the subject called IBC. Uh, so this is what is all about, friends. So for today, I think, and for the very first session of mine for this particular matter, I think this is enough for today. And so I would request, please start on your own first to start studying the module of IBC, which is provided by the institute, and then please comment uh, uh, um, comment on YouTube about like your perspectives, what you would be looking for from my side. I would be providing my contact details, like the WhatsApp number and my email ID. Like if you have any doubts, etc., we'll see how we can develop this particular thing. My only intent is to educate more and more students of ICSI, to make them ready for the exam, as well as after passing the exam to practice in the profession in a very efficient manner. So thank you so much. Just a minute, I'll just stop sharing and then maybe I can conclude it. So friends, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that uh, 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 this endeavor of mine would prove really helpful to all the students, as well as whoever wants to be a part of this journey of IBC, whether on the side of like becoming insolvency professional, or to practice before NCLT as a practicing company secretary, or any other manner whatsoever it may be. Like people are very innovative these days. They found a lot of things out of one thing. So all the best to all of you guys, and I'm really glad to like to remain connected with you. And for any doubts or any help, I'm always there. My details you can see uh, in the comments. I will share it over there. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Take care. All the very best. Don't take tension. Be happy. I'm there for IBC with you. Thank you so much. Thank you.